Alright, today makes 1 month since NoFap. I thought I would do a little review on what's been going on these last 30 days. So, one of the first things I noticed is that it moves in waves. The first couple of days of NoFap, you're excited, this is the new chapter in your life. It's not that hard, right? After all, everybody has gone 1 or 2 days without fapping, right? Anytime you're ill, when I was recovering from COVID-19, right, when I had jock issues, just about anybody can go 1 or 2 days, right? When you're with somebody, you're at a conference where you have to stay with a roommate, right? It's not hard to find a situation where the circumstances just don't allow for it. So first couple of days were nothing. But the next couple of days were, oh my god, how do I do this routine without fapping, right? Maybe there's somebody that you like to talk to on Facebook, right? Facebook is tricky, right? If I talk face to face, right, you can't really do that, right? How do I even, after a good meal, right? My big weakness was after a good meal, oh my god. Or, how do I get to sleep, right? My big weakness was I needed to fap in order to put myself to sleep because it had become so routine to do that. The first week of that, my sleep schedule was out of whack. I got a little suggestion. If you wanna quit fapping, I would suggest doing it in the middle of the week, Wednesday or so. Because the first couple of days, like I said, is pretty easy. And then you have the weekend to wreck up your sleep during the toughest of couple of days of the NoFap journey. Maybe do it 2 days before a long weekend would probably be the best time to do it. Now, 1 week in, you feel so good. Oh my god, I'm getting so much done. I actually want to get to work when I wake up, I don't wake up and deliberate on, delaying going to work, right? No, I go to the office so I can't fap. That's 1 week in. 2 weeks in. And then when you get to 3 weeks, you're like, oh my god, the rest of my life, really? I'm only 3 weeks in and I got 80 years to go. That's when panic can start to kick in, right? So 3 weeks into the NoFap program is a great time to take on a new hobby of some sort, right? For me, it was going on long-distance walks here in the Redmond area, going to a board game meetup, going to a Pokemon TCG. And right now I am 1 month into NoFap. Now, I had a tricky situation, like I said, 3 weeks. And during the 3 weeks, I really abused a lot of other things in my life, especially sleep deprivation. And I kind of relapsed with eating disorder kind of problems, not to the extent that I had 3 years earlier. And also, well, it's legal here. I also smoked some marijuana during the 3-week mark. I was talking to my father about this, and he kept encouraging me to go back to... Oops. I had a YouTube video, and now internet has connected. Apologies. But my dad kept suggesting that I go back to masturbating. Now, what really discouraged me from relapsing was that I had gone back to so many bad habits, eating too much, sleep deprivation, and the marijuana that I picked up, that I worried that if I started masturbating again, I would have masturbating on top of all those problems. If I'm going to develop new problems, I'm not going to go back to my old problems. That's my logic, and that kept me off of masturbating. The other problem is that my dad, I think he still masturbates, maybe even more regularly than I used to. And I really felt like I was talking to a junkie buddy of mine, right? He and I used to, let's say he and I used to smoke heroin. I quit, he didn't, and I'm asking him for advice. Oh, just shoot up some heroin when you get a chance, right? That's the feeling I got. That's the feeling I got. Not a good feeling. I also talked to a coworker of mine that I was comfortable with, and he also suggested that it's okay, I masturbate too, what's wrong with it? The problem with that logic is that I don't see him being very happy at work. He often shows up a couple minutes late. Meanwhile, I'm always excited about going to work. Oh my god, I get to leave the home and not have to worry about temptation. And I don't see him benefiting from the masturbating, right? It's discouraging his creativity, I would say. He hasn't written the #1 computer AI for backgammon. He hasn't taken a long-distance walk here in Redmond. He's kind of borderline overweight, and I don't see where he's getting his benefit from, right? It's a distraction in his life, if anything, right? I talked to an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I think she wants to hook up with me. One day after I think this was 2 weeks into it, she had said, "Come on, just think about me and masturbate," something like that. And so I had to stop talking to her for some time at least, because it was just too much temptation. But you get the idea. I really look forward to the day when I can say I've been 10 years free of masturbating, 20 years free. And it's very reminiscent to another bad habit that I kicked 20 years ago. Soda. I used to drink a lot of soda. I was just reading an article about how much soda prices have inflated over the last 12 months, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad it doesn't apply to me. It was a lot higher than a lot of other food products, that's for sure. But inflation is way understated, right? If you know, a lot of times when they state inflation figures, they adjust the basket of goods that they're measuring, right? But I actually spend less on food today than I did in 2019 when I used to be binge eating, right? So you could say I had food price deflation, right? Because you could adjust the basket, right? My dating expenses have also shrunk since 2019 because I used to have a check for 2, now I have a check for 1, right? You could do substitution effect there too, right? What else? If I were still working remotely, I could move to Wallace, Idaho. You could say that my living expenses are going down too, right? So it all depends on how you interpret the numbers, right? Anyways, 1 month, and I really look forward to some of those bigger numbers. Oh my God, it's been 3 years since I quit masturbating. It's been 5 years. Oh my God, you know, when I can tell my grandchild, you know, I haven't masturbated since I was 35 years old. That was decades and decades ago. I really look forward to that. I really do. I don't know why, and not to mention all the good stuff that I'll get done instead of masturbating, right? I hope to, well, I do private tutoring, and one of my students is just learning about what Oregon Trail is all about, right? I want to one day travel the Oregon Trail like a prehistoric time, right? Maybe make a YouTube movie of it. I think all of that will be a heck of a lot easier if I didn't deal with addictions, right?